Did Tian Xiwei's crazy treasure hunt 2 moment bring LingXi fans back to Zhang Linghe? Hello everyone. Welcome back to this channel. There are moments in entertainment news that seem completely ordinary at first. A new variety show. A new location. A familiar actress. A few funny interactions. But sometimes, one name appears on screen, and suddenly, an entire fandom starts remembering another name. And this time, that name is Tian Xiwei. Tian Xiwei is currently attracting attention through Crazy Treasure Hunt 2, the variety show that brings its cast into rural locations and combines treasure hunting missions, group activities, local culture, and everyday life. The second season introduced a team-based format, with different pairings creating different dynamics throughout the journey. 0. But there is something particularly interesting about the way fans are watching Tian this time. Because whenever Tian Xiwei becomes the center of attention, some LingXi fans immediately remember Zhang Linghe. And that raises one surprisingly simple question. Why? Why does Tian Xiwei's name still have the power to bring Zhang Linghe back into the conversation, even when Zhang Linghe is not part of Crazy Treasure Hunt 2? The story begins in Xishuangbanna. This season did not simply place the cast inside a studio. Instead, the show took them into a completely different environment, using local villages, cultural experiences, teamwork, and treasure hunting missions as part of the entertainment. And Tian Xiwei became one of the recognizable faces of that journey. Mango TV's official material describes the second season as an upgraded format, moving from individual treasure hunting toward team-based missions, with different partners creating new interactions and unexpected chemistry. 1. That detail matters. Because it means viewers are not only watching the treasure hunt. They are watching personalities. They are watching friendships. They are watching who naturally gets along with whom. And, perhaps most importantly, they are watching Tian Xiwei outside the world of her dramas. One official episode description even highlighted Tian Xiwei and Wang Anyu working together, while another later Mango TV feature described Tian Xiwei and Wang Anyu as the top-ranked popular pairing in the show's extended content. 2. And this is where the story becomes interesting for LingXi fans. Because Tian Xiwei is no longer being seen only through the character she played in a drama. Fans are now seeing her laugh, compete, solve puzzles, interact with other cast members, and simply be herself. But then comes the unexpected part. The more viewers see Tian Xiwei in a completely different environment, the more some fans begin comparing this version of Tian with the image they already know from Pursuit of Jade. And who is inseparable from that drama in the eyes of many international viewers? Zhang Linghe. There is no mystery about their professional connection. Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei are the two leads of Pursuit of Jade, a drama that gained major attention both domestically and internationally. Xinhua reported that the series became a major international success, reaching the top of iQIYI's International Chinese Drama Weekly chart and performing strongly across multiple overseas markets. 3. That is the verified part. But then comes the part that has fans talking. Some viewers have begun bringing LingXi back into conversations surrounding Tian Xiwei's new variety appearances. Not because Zhang Linghe has officially joined Crazy Treasure Hunt 2. Not because there has been a confirmed statement from Zhang Linghe about the show. And not because the variety program has announced any new romantic connection between the two. None of those things have been officially established. Instead, it is the memory of their screen partnership that keeps resurfacing. And perhaps that is the most fascinating part of this entire story. Sometimes a fandom does not need a new scene between two actors. Sometimes, a familiar name is enough. A familiar smile. A familiar expression. A familiar way of interacting. And suddenly viewers remember another story. Another character. Another partnership. Another moment. This is where the so-called surprising revelation becomes much more subtle than a dramatic announcement. The revelation is not that Zhang Linghe suddenly appeared on Crazy Treasure Hunt 2. He did not. The revelation is that the LingXi association remains strong enough for fans to connect Tian Xiwei's new activities with the partnership they loved on screen. And that says something important about the lasting impact of Pursuit of Jade. Because a successful drama does not necessarily disappear when the final episode ends. Sometimes, the characters remain in people's memories. Sometimes the actors continue working on completely different projects. But fans still carry the old chemistry with them. And Tian Xiwei's Crazy Treasure Hunt 2 appearances have created exactly that kind of situation. The show itself is becoming a new chapter. But for some LingXi fans, it also becomes a reminder of an older chapter. There is another fascinating layer to this story. Xinhua recently highlighted Crazy Treasure Hunt 2 in a broader report about immersive rural documentary-style variety programs. The report noted that the show was filmed in Dai villages in Xishuangbanna and connected the program with local culture and rural development. It also reported that the show helped increase attention toward local products such as dye embroidery, fresh fruit, and homestay tourism. 4. So this is not simply a story about celebrity chemistry. It is also a story about how variety entertainment is changing. The camera is no longer only looking for glamorous stages. It is moving into villages, into local communities, into everyday life. And Tian Xiwei is experiencing that environment in front of millions of viewers. That gives fans a completely different opportunity to understand her. Not as a character. Not as someone else's romantic counterpart. But as Tian Xiwei. And perhaps that is exactly why the Zhang Linghe connection becomes so interesting. Because when fans see Tian Xiwei being playful with another cast member, solving a mission, laughing during a challenge, or simply enjoying the scenery, they are forced to separate the actress from the character they remember. And yet, the memories remain. This is where we need to draw a very clear line. A fan comparison is not the same thing as a confirmed relationship. A viral comment is not the same thing as an official statement. And a fan saying, "This reminds me of Zhang Linghe," does not mean Zhang Linghe actually reacted to it. That distinction matters. Especially when two actors have developed such a strong screen association. The internet can transform a small visual moment into a huge discussion within hours. A smile becomes a clue. A coincidence becomes a theory. A familiar expression becomes a comparison. And suddenly, the original context can disappear. So, for this story, the safest and most interesting question is not, did Zhang Linghe secretly react to Tian Xiwei? There is no verified evidence here to make that claim. The better question is, why does Tian Xiwei's name still bring Zhang Linghe into the conversation? And perhaps the answer is simpler than fans expect. Because their story on screen left an impression. Pursuit of Jade gave audiences a particular image of Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei together. And when one of them enters a new project, some viewers naturally bring those memories with them. That is fandom. That is nostalgia. And sometimes, that is the reason an old pairing can suddenly become relevant again without anything new actually happening between the two people. Meanwhile, Crazy Treasure Hunt 2 continues to give Tian Xiwei a new space to shine. The official program materials show her taking part in different missions and interactions, while the changing team format allows viewers to see different sides of the cast. 5. And that may be the real story here. Tian Xiwei is moving forward. Her career is moving forward. Her variety appearances are creating new memories. And Zhang Linghe is continuing on his own path as well. But somewhere between those two journeys, there is still a fandom that remembers them together. Not necessarily because something new happened, but because something old still means something to people. And that is why this story has the potential to become bigger than a simple variety show update. Because viewers are not only asking what Tian Xiwei did in Xishuangbanna. They are asking what her new appearance means for the image fans have carried since Pursuit of Jade. Is this simply nostalgia? Is it the natural effect of a successful on-screen partnership? Or does the continued attention prove that LingXi remains one of the most memorable pairings in Tian Xiwei's career? There is no official answer to that question. And perhaps that is exactly why people keep discussing it. So now I want to hear from you. When you watch Tian Xiwei in Crazy Treasure Hunt 2, do you see her simply as Tian Xiwei discovering a new variety show experience? Or does a part of you still remember her as the actress who shared the screen with Zhang Linghe in Pursuit of Jade? Do you think the LingXi association is becoming stronger because of Tian's new popularity? Or is this simply fans revisiting a pairing they already loved? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. And remember, we can enjoy the chemistry. We can enjoy the memories. We can enjoy the fandom, while still keeping the line between confirmed facts and fan speculation clear. Because sometimes the most fascinating story is not about what actually happened between two celebrities, but about why millions of viewers still remember what happened on screen. Tian Xiwei is moving into a new chapter. Crazy Treasure Hunt 2 is giving her a new stage. But for LingXi fans, one question remains. When Tian Xiwei appears, why does Zhang Linghe still feel so close to the conversation? Maybe the answer is hidden not in a new clue, but in an old memory. And perhaps that is why LingXi still refuses to disappear. 6